Alright, so this next tool right here, which I want to talk about, is called Smart Mesh Tools, version 1.1.0, which well, since I downloaded this thing. Yeah, it's the latest one too, it looks like. So basically, the thing with Maya is that it likes to create like a lot of junk, and this tool here makes it so that you get less of that junk. Let me show you. So let's say that I had these two cubes and I wanted to combine them using Maya's tools. I go to Mesh, Combine, and I get my combined piece of geometry, and I get these two, transform nodes with, these things right here in them. And, I need to take the extra step of clearing the history, and I don't know, you end up, and if you forget to do that and you've got like a complicated hierarchy, you can end up with scenes with like a lot of this junk and you don't know where it came from and all that kind of stuff. And I think if I were to rename this geometry at any point, these don't get renamed, so it becomes even more difficult to know what these belong to. So it's kind of a pain to deal with. And the other thing is, if I were to select these two transforms that were generated from that combined thing and then delete those, my geometry goes away, even though this geometry node right here remains. So it gets very messy, like with Maya's tools, very quickly. Even with relatively simple scenes. When they get more complicated, it becomes a real hassle and nightmare to deal with, quite frankly. The Smart Mesh Tools just does a much better job. You can select these cubes, click on Smart Combine, and you'll get the piece of geometry. None of that extra transforms showing up, and everyone's happy, like that. Super simple, much cleaner. The other thing it does is it will center the pivot for each thing, right? Where there's Maya's default tools, I think they just go to the origin. Yeah, so Mesh Combine, right? So with Maya's tools, I just get a messy scene, and I get, all of the manipulators end up at the origin. No good. Let's see. Mesh, Combine. I'll just work with these cubes right now. If I do Mesh, Separate, right, you see I get another transform. Let me just get rid of these for now so I can kind of show you more clearly. Alright, so let's say that I wanted to combine and separate these meshes, right, with Maya's tools. I'll do Mesh, Combine, and now I want to separate them. Mesh, Separate, and this is what I end up with in the outliner. I get just this really messy, outliner junk happening, and it's just a real pain to deal with, quite frankly. Unless you instantly clear the history and then have to unparent it from this original cube. With Smart Mesh Tools, I can just go Combine, Mesh, Separate, Combine, Separate, and do that, all day. Combine, you got a combined thing, separate, it's separated, and it's just clean. Much nicer. That's the general gist. Same with Extract. Extract is nowhere to be found here. That's under a different menu. So if I were to extract, it's the exact same deal. I just get this really junky stuff happening in the outliner. My manipulator goes to the origin, so most likely I'm going to have to recenter that every single time, and clearing the history and just dealing with all of that. Whether it's with Smart Mesh Tools, I just select it, click Extract, I'm done. Although I do need to center that. Extract, like that. See, much cleaner. And Smart Duplicate Face is similar to extract, only it just makes a duplicate of the face. Like that. So, excuse me. The reason I recommend this tool is because it's so easy to make the outliner super messy, and this tool helps keep things cleaner than what I would typically get out of Maya's default tools. Maya's default tools, they work, but it's easy to lose geometry pieces, especially, and it's difficult to clean up the outliner without messing something up. The biggest problem that I have with it, I would say, is that if with Maya's tools, I can't just select these transforms and hit delete without impacting the geometry, and it's not obvious in the outliner if the geometry is impacted or not, right? Whether it's hidden or whatever, like it's just empty. So I like to have tools that I don't have to worry about that to begin with, and Smart Mesh Tools is a good option for that. That's basically it. Where to get it? Let me get rid of this thing. It's called Smart Mesh Tools for Maya. All of my tools, a lot of them tend to come from High-End 3D. So same as the other tools, I'll go to Bing or Google, type in Smart Mesh Tools for Maya, Creative Crash, click there. It'll take you to High-End 3D because Creative Crash got renamed to High-End 3D. You can download it here, and a little video talking more about it. Yeah, that's the gist of it. I find it very helpful. I use it all the time. It's just a way to keep your scene cleaner while working. It's quite nice in that regard. Yeah, hope that helps.